ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saieed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight, viewers. Remember, we are live on Synergy Network Monday to Friday from 7 to 8 p.m. and we're on the next day from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Remember that, viewers. Also, viewers, we would like to share our Facebook page and YouTube channel. It's Real Talk with Saieed Ali on Facebook. Remember, go into your Facebook account, type in Real Talk with Saieed Ali, like and share as we go live. Also on YouTube, don't forget, subscribe, hit the bell, and you would know when we go live. So viewers, as I remind you, Real Talk Finance is giving you 4% on a fixed deposit. Remember that. The only financial company in Trinidad and Tobago that is giving you your interest up front on a fixed deposit, it's our company. Also, viewers, be a member of the credit union, buy shares, open a savings account, plant a seed today, and you will reap the fruits of tomorrow. Remember that. I'm a spiritual consultant, viewers. Those of you who are interested in reading, getting spiritual work done, I'm also a consultation. Feel free. Now, viewers, with all that I have said, you can contact my office to set up an appointment if you want to see me, take a loan, or come in and have a discussion with us as we are in the financial business. Now remember, viewers, those are my office numbers that you are seeing on screen. Feel free to call any one of the numbers between the hours of 8:30 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. Monday to Friday. Saturday is 8:30 a.m. till 12 noon. Remember that, viewers. Very soon we're going to have a Real Talk Credit Union in South. Very soon. Sorry. One thing I will tell you, when a man have a vision, there's nothing stopping. There's nothing stopping him. With the grace of God and hope in your heart, we're going forward. So, to our big story tonight, Cabinet has approved the member of a team recommended by the Minister of Finance, Clongenberg, to investigate understatement of revenue for the financial year 2023 and related matters. In a news release from the Ministry of Finance, stated that the investigation team will be chaired by retired High Court Judge Justice David Harris and will include a former audit director at the Auditor General Department and specialist in information and technology. Government and the Auditor General, Jaiwanti Ramdas, have clashed over the understatement of revenue for the financial year 2023 in the last 2 weeks. The release stated that the team will report to the Minister or the Ministry of Finance within 2 months. The term of reference of the investigation will include what circumstances led to the understatement of revenue in the public accounts for the financial year 2023 and what should be done to avoid the reoccurrence of this. Secondly, what was the response of the Auditors General to efforts of the public official described above, and what action did the Auditor General take in relation to the understatement of revenue in the audit of the public accounts for financial year 2023, among other related matters. So Trinidad and Tobago, the Cabinet approved a team. And this team was recommended by the Minister of Finance, Clongenberg. Now, over $2 billion cannot be accounted for by the Ministry of Finance, but you know who recommended it? A retired High Court judge? The Minister of Finance. his office cannot give an account when the Auditors General did their books for 2023, but he recommends somebody to do an investigation into the missing money. Now I have some news for you, but tomorrow night I will hear a little story of the missing money. You will hear that tomorrow night. I can't give all you everything. You will get something. Now, switching gears. Despite recently opening its flagship Minnesota stores at the Falls West Mall, founder and CEO of the First Retail Inc., Omar Hadid, stated that the company's local growth will now be slowed as the foreign exchange, Forex problem continue to be very challenging. He stated that the location welcomed customers on April 26th, but is supposed to be open since February, but could not because of Forex restraints. Hadid said, so far, doing business in other islands have been far easier than in Trinidad. Coupled with this, he said the delay on the Port of Spain continued to be problematic with business people, having to endure not only lengthy waiting times for goods to be cleared, but they also have our incur unnecessary costs. Who is controlling the port in Trinidad and Tobago? This is what you have to ask yourself. So Trinidad and Tobago, money gone missing, Colombo can't answer yet. Yet the cabinet took approval from Colombo, who recommended 2 individuals. Quite something, eh? Quite something. So listen to this, a little insight onto something. Auditor General MP Saddam Hussein have stated that persons must understand the Auditor's General report on the 2023 public financial statement. Speaking at a UNC town meeting at the Brazil High School in Brazil, Hussein explained how the Auditors General check the books to calculate how and where the money is going. Listen to this.
But what we must understand is the Auditor General's role. You would observe when we are in the Parliament, we spend about 7 to 8 days trying to pass the budget. And you know the budget is not small money. That is billions of dollars. That is in excess of $65 billion we pass to allow the government to spend this money so that they could fix road, build school, police station. Now, we're passing that budget, but nobody knows where the money go in. So that is why you have the Auditor General to check the books. So if the government got $60 billion, she will go through the whole year of finances, the accounts, and she will find out whether or not they spend the $60 billion, where they spend the $60 billion. So that is a check and balance. That is accountability with respect to public office. So the Auditor General must receive the accounts for Trinidad and Tobago at the end of January. So the financial year will end in September. We clear on that, right? We have to understand what is taking place.
Now, do you understand that, Trinidad and Tobago? Good. So we're breaking it down in steps now for you to understand the whole Auditor's General role. We're breaking it down for you to understand the role of Jaywanti Ramdas as the Auditor General for Trinidad and Tobago. So listen to this now. On April 26th, Imbut succeeded in having a motion passed in the House of Representatives to extend the time to submit public accounts to the Auditors General because ministry officials had detected a variance of understatement of approximately $2.6 billion in 2023 public financial statement. Hussein's claim that they wanted the Auditor General to accept new records with new figures and added that according to Imbert, the issue occurred because of new technologies placed in the BIR office. Now listen to this.
They were sending messages and they were calling, they were hounding the Auditor General to accept these new accounts with new figures. So first you tell her, listen, the amount of money the country collect in the last financial year was 60 billion. But we now check back with numbers, the records, and we found that we really collect $63 billion. But it tells you this on WhatsApp. Imagine that, right? Then they say, okay, we have everything in order. They went and they burn a CD now. And they give the Auditor General a CD with the new accounts. When last time they used a CD? When last time they used a CD? And Imbert is telling this country and want us to believe that $3 billion missing because they put new technology in the BIR office. They scan, check, and put it up on the system and digitize, but them burning CD and giving them the public accounts. You all believe that?
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, let's keep this in mind. This is coming from Saddam Hussein. I believe he's also a lawyer. Now, let's keep this in mind. This is a breakdown of how he explained how things transpired. I want to let you understand this. He also stated that the Attorney General office threatened the Auditor General and revealed that the government sent new accounts from April instead of January. And the question, where did the money go? Now listen to this piece carefully.
Then they sent her this letter, the same lawyer letter. The Attorney General threatened her. They said, if you don't take this, if you don't accept these accounts, we're going to take it to court. Really? Well, the lady, she said, okay, I'll look at the accounts. So they sent her some new accounts now. And they sent this in around April or so. But you know when they did the accounts? In January. They were backdating the accounts of Trinidad and Tobago. You know what that is? That is unlawful, that is illegal, that is fraud. That is fraud. So the Auditor General said, okay, I'll send my auditors in the ministry to find this $3 billion are they talking about. You know when they went in the ministry, you know what the Auditor General found? She found nothing. She could not find the $3 billion. So that is why today $3 billion is missing in revenue in this country. So the question is, where the money gone?
So Trinidad and Tobago, Real Talk with Sai took the initiative to break it down for you so you would understand the whole scenario of the Attorney General's office, the Ministry of Finance, and the Auditor General office. We broke it down to you into 3 separate video clips so you would understand. You would understand how $3 billion is missing. Now, my question on a previous show, why did the Attorney General get involved? Why did the Attorney General get involved in this whole scenario when it's supposed to be only the Ministry of Finance and the Auditor General Department? So now you understand why $3 billion cannot be accounted for. We took time to break it down for you, just so you would understand the whole fiscal, the whole scenario of $3 billion going missing. I hope you understand what is taking place now. So viewers, we're going for a short commercial break. When we come back, you're going to hear Stuart Young now. The cleanup could reach up to $30 million in the oil spill in Tobago. More info after this.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Report Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saeed, Managing Director of Realtor Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Do you have a public concern you would like to highlight? You can email your pictures and videos to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com, and we will highlight your concerns on our show for Public Concerns Wednesday.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Like a night.
Good night, my lord. Boy, how are you going?
My friend.
Everything all right, boy. Everything all right. We have to stay cool, boy. What we going to do, boy? We have to pray, beg the Lord, see what good again can happen again in this world. People seeing what happened all outside the world. People dying with war kind of thing. And yet these government and ministers and studying what's going on. They must see what's going on. Then to do better than that, boy. Say, look how far we reach. We're too advanced to go back down there, boy. We should be better than that. We shouldn't have this thing happening again.
Yes, yes.
Boy, take care, boy. God bless you, boy.
Thank you, my friend. You know what just crossed my mind? Imagine, viewers, her dad, who opened a store in West Mall, Hadid is telling us doing business in other countries is far easier. You know why it is far easier? Because it is easier to get US currency in another country than in Trinidad. Hadid is saying that. Imagine this, eh? Imagine this. They own business in different countries and it is easier to get US in that country than to get US in Trinidad. Why is this? Why is this for businessmen? I tell you, when I go to the bank, hey, let me get about $3,000 or $4,000 in US. Side, all you could get is $300. $300 in US. And as a businessman, imagine that. $300. I'm a licensed money lender in Trinidad and I gain $300 US. Do I go lend $300 US? Come now, man. So viewers, remember, we at Real Talk, now Real Talk is a group of company, licensed money lender, finance and investment, Real Talk Credit Union, everything falls under Real Talk Group. Remember, we recently, about a month and a half ago, we recently got our license to be a registered credit union in Trinidad and Tobago, and we are encouraging you to open a savings account for you, yourself, the kids. Buy shares, plant a seed today that you will reap the benefit later on. Also, viewers, we at Real Talk here, we are offering you 4% on our fixed deposit. Now, the good thing about this fixed deposit is that we are paying the highest interest rate presently in Trinidad and Tobago. The next best thing about this fixed deposit is that you're getting your interest up front. So if you invest 100,000, just saying, it could be any amount. If you invest $100,000 and at the end of 5 years you will be collecting $20,000, we at Real Talk Finance, we're going to give you that $20,000 up front. Instead of you waiting for 5 years, we are going to give you that interest up front. So that interest now could go into our savings. This is where you plant a seed today and you will reap the fruit later on. How many financial institutions is doing that in Trinidad? Absolutely none. None. Like I said, I am a leader. I come to lead. I've been in finance all my life. All my life I have been in finance. We have a financial institution, Real Talk Credit Union. Don't miss the opportunity to get your interest up front. Don't miss the opportunity. Paula, good night.
Good night.
Hello?
Hello, good night.
Go right ahead, you're live.
Yes, I want to ask something. And then is Muslim people supposed to collect interest?
I could barely hear what you're saying. I could hardly understand you.
Is Muslim people allowed to collect interest?
If Muslim people are allowed to collect interest? So let me answer that for you. This is how high I'm going with it, so you would understand. If an imam who is working and wants to build a house, he will go to a financial institution as a commercial bank, correct? Good. When you go to this bank now, and the bank tell you have to pay 4%, 5% interest on the loan you're taking, what would you do? What would you do? You tell me. I need somebody to say. When Muslim car dealers in Trinidad and Tobago, good? When they import their vehicle, let's say they import it at an all-wrong figure for 10,000. What are you selling it for? Not a profit? Not a profit? Allah come na man, Trinidad and Tobago. Allah come na man. And this is what people just feel they could put side on the spot. You feel like you put side on the spot, but you can't. You can't do that. What do you man pay when you take a loan? Interest. Interest. So, moving along. Energy Minister Stuart Young have stated that the estimated cost of the cleanup operation for the Tobago oil spill at the central government level is around 12 million US. But by the end of the exercise, it could increase to as much as $30 million US. When this oil spill occurred, didn't the government get a couple $1 million well? Some foreign country was paying for the cleanup. You remember that? How many of you remember that? Kola, good night.
Yes, good night.
Go right ahead, your
Yes.
line.
You didn't explain yourself for paying interest. You didn't collect interest. You paying interest.
Family, let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. If I pay an interest on a product, right, and you as a Muslim, would you leave out that interest? Common sense. Would you leave that interest for some other religion to partake and you forget it? This is where common sense is coming. Common sense. If you have your money in a commercial bank and at the end of the bank, being a Muslim, they gave you 5% interest, would you tell the bank to take back the interest? No, you would not. You would not. You would not. Would you? Come now, man. Would you? I am a Muslim. I am a Muslim. I run in a financial institution. And I am offering, my company is offering interest on fixed deposit. Would you refuse the interest? I'm asking you that now. Me? I need $10,000 to put together what I have to buy a car, and the bank giving me interest on the money I have on it. Would I refuse it? No, I would not refuse it. You know why? God give me common sense. God bless me to work to get a little bit of money to buy a car, but the money I have in the bank now, the bank decided to give me interest. I will take it to put it towards now to buying my car. To buying my car. So common sense does play a key factor in life. Common sense. Now, back to our story. Young confirmed that the Trinidad and Tobago had successfully made a submission to the International Oil Pollution Compensation Fund, IOPC, to cover the cost of the cleanup of the oil spill which took place off the southwest coast of Tobago on February 7th. The minister explained that it was impossible to say what the final cost would be because there remained uncertainty as well as claims by submitted to the Ministry of Finance. He said, when making a submission to the fund, it can either go up or go down in the region of $30 million US. Listen to this.
It's impossible at this stage to say what the final cost would be because there remains uncertainty. If the sea conditions become rough and the crews have to be on standby instead of working for a day, you incur cost as a result of that. God forbid something further should complicate it. I assume costs would rise there. An estimate of costs that we have seen at the central government level, meaning here at the Ministry of Energy and Energy Industries, getting from Heritage and the others that we have contracted, an estimate within current ballpark figures is about, I believe it is 12 million US so far. And then, of course, you have THA who are submitting as well claims to the Ministry of Finance. So when making the submissions to the fund, I told them, look, you're looking at something, I assume, but it could go up or it could go down, in the region of maybe $30 million US. The fund was fine with that. I mean, in some of the other incidents that they've dealt, it's been far in excess of that.
Now, staying with this, on claims from the cleanup made by the Tobago House of Assembly, Young estimated that the cost occurred could be between 14 to 20 million US dollars. Listen to Young.
Good news, though, Trinidad and Tobago is that we have succeeded in persuading the executive committee that for the Tobago oil spill incident, all reasonable claims that are made will be compensated by this fund. Immediately thereafter, we have engaged them, and we at central government, the Ministry of Energy and Energy Industries, are going to lead the charge with submitting to them our claims for compensation from the fund. And I expect that the vast majority, if not all, of the submissions by the central government through the Ministry of Energy and Energy Industries of the cost to the taxpayers in Trinidad and Tobago of dealing with this oil spill from the 7th of February to whatever is the date that it finally ends, we will receive that compensation from this fund.
Now, regarding the owner of the overturned Gulf Stream barge that created the environmental disaster, Young said efforts were still being made to locate them. He stated that official requests were made to countries for assistance in tracking those responsible, because the owner have not yet been identified.
What I can say is that the cost that we have estimated at this stage from the central government side, and certainly what we've been managing at the Ministry of Energy along with Heritage and other service providers that we've retained from central government and the Ministry of Energy and Energy Industries, we can be looking at anywhere from 14 to 20 million US dollars. That's our best estimate at this stage. And of course, in Tobago, they too, via the THA, have been incurring certain costs that ultimately will come to us at central government, and we will do an exercise along with the Ministry of Finance. The Ministry of Energy will do an exercise of looking at it to see what inside of those cost estimates or those costs that are put forward to us at central government are in fact reasonable costs for us to be able to deal with.
So viewers, Young said, and this is what I don't understand, they can't find the owner of the ship. They can't. With all the technology in the world, they cannot find the owner of the ship. Listen to what Stuart Young had to say concerning the owner of the ship.
We've heard the names Gulfstream, which is the last name that was seen on this vessel as overturned in Tobago. We've also seen documentation that suggests that the tug that was carrying it along during parts of this journey is something called the Solo Creed. But we've also been provided with documentation that suggests changes of names, etc., through the Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, as you would have heard previously. We have made the official request of certain countries, Tanzania, Nigeria, Panama, Aruba, Curacao, for assistance in tracing and tracking those responsible, and in particular the owners of these vessels. Unfortunately, at this stage, despite all of those efforts, we have not been able as yet to ascertain with any degree of certainty who the owners are. When I come to what happened in London next week, hopefully this will provide you, the population, with a better understanding of what happens in instances such as this.
You know what I don't understand? The ship ran aground in Tobago. We have satellite image. Ministry of National Security. Trace back where the ship was. Go to that country, get the information from that country. Now let me tell you something, you just had to produce documents before you dock in our country. Yeah? You have to have clearance. Who is this ship? Who is the owner? What does this ship contain? Before you get clearance to dock in our country. So Stuart, you want to tell me now, Saieed, you're stupid. We cannot trace satellite. We have no way of getting information. Let me tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago. All you remember Robert Lahunt? Robert Lahunt wanted to go to Israel to buy a software where you could have picked up a leaking pipe under the ground from a satellite up in space. But Stuart Young want to tell the nation that we have no information on it. No information whatsoever. But Robert Lahunt wants to get a software for WASA so that we could pick up water leaking under the ground from our pipe. And where the satellite is? In space. But from in space, we cannot use the satellite device, right, or satellite image to trace back where the ship was. All of a sudden, we're stupid. All of a sudden, I want to tell all of Trinidad. Trinbagonians. When I stand up here, I represent Trinidad and Tobago in a wider region. You know. So if ministers feel they could come on a broadcasting platform and try to bamboozle the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, I want to let you understand, I will make a stand for 1.4 million people in our country. I side will do that. You may not like me, but I will educate you on things that you do not know. things that you're supposed to know. So viewers, we're going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, trust me, we have news in store for you. Something from the top cop, Earl Haywood, after this.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtalk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Do you have a public concern you would like to highlight? You can email your pictures and videos to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com, and we will highlight your concerns on our show for Public Concerns Wednesday.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Realtalk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Realtalk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Realtalk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
So Trinidad and Tobago, welcome back to Real Talk. Like I said before, viewers, we are the oldest financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago that is offering you 4%. Why am I making a big deal out of it? Because you are getting big return on your hard-earned cash. That is why. Big return on your hard-earned cash only at Real Talk. Only at Real Talk. We are a licensed financial institution, and I keep saying that. Oh, Saieed, careful, you end up like Hindu Credit Union. Hindu Credit Union didn't expand out of Trinidad and Tobago. Saieed Company did. And that is the difference. That is the difference. You see the guy calling just now, oh, Saieed, Muslim could collect interest? Let me tell you something. God gave you common sense. We had common sense in the world before we had book sense. Common sense. Yep. I personally will take my interest. You know why? That interest is going to help me buy my car, buy extra clothes, buy an next pair of shoes, buy tire. It's all about common sense. How do you know if God is blessing you or not? You don't. Some of you may acknowledge when they get a blessing. Others, you would not. You would not. So viewers, hence the reason why I am explanating, as they would say. No, I'm just elaborating on it. The oldest financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago is offering you a hefty reward of 4% on your fixed deposit. And let me tell you something. If you have if you're in a financial institution and you have a fixed deposit and you're going to break it and they can't offer you what we offering, well then break it. Are we matching anything they have? That is Real Talk. And watch man, I didn't open a financial institution to play games with people. We have Real Talk Finance in Guyana. I've showed you all documents from time after time that I got in Guyana to open a financial institution. And very soon, Real Talk Credit Union will be in Guyana, Grenada, Barbados. Guyana, Grenada, and Barbados. And our fourth move will be in Dubai. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. I know what I am talking about. Very soon, we're going to have Real Talk Credit Union in South region. So viewers, to the Real Talk Equipment Rental, we recently acquired this truck. You know, I must say I am proud. I am proud of that. This is what we recently acquired. So Trinidad and Tobago, we recently acquired this from Japan. This is another Real Talk Equipment Rental. Like I said, my company is growing. I am proud to say that tonight. Let me tell you something, 17 hours of work per day is a lot of hours. Some of us want to know what side, we're getting this money to buy this and buy that and buy the next. Let me tell you something, it's investment and long hours. This is a $500,000 product. Straight from Isuzu company in Japan. And I am proud to be the owner of it in Trinidad and Tobago. Real Talk Equipment Rental. So it's a wrecker with a sliding bed and a crane. So we move in anything. Even a big truck we move in. Truck with trailer. We're hooking up bus and we move in. You have something to transport, we're transporting that for you. If man can't lift it up, well, it had a crane to lift it up. Tonight, I stand proud here as a young businessman in Trinidad and Tobago, working the hours, and this is where you call our blessings. So when you hear the guy calling and say, Saeed, would you collect your interest? I will collect my interest. You know why? I could put it to use to buy this. And this would help me. Common sense before books. Common sense before books. There's a lot of teaching in all religion, but it's common sense. Common sense. So tonight I stand proud here as Saeed, the Managing Director of Real Talk Equipment Rental, viewers, and that is our truck. I am proud to say that. 17 hours a day. 17 hours a day, and that is my reward. That is my benefit. So when you want to know what Saeed, but I see about new Benz, really? You want to know how I get? 17 hours a day, hard work. 17, and 1,000 today, 1,000 tomorrow, 1,000 next day, and I'm dropping it in a pan. As long time people would say, save it in a pan. And I'm making my money. The hours long, but I'm making it, and that is my sacrifice. So when you want to reach somewhere in life, you invest. You invest. That is what you do. Business owners invest. You start up small, you save, you invest, you save, you invest, you save, you invest, and you go one step on the ladder every time you invest. And you would reach there one. So, we're going on to Erla. Commissioner of Police, Erla Hayward Christopher, has agreed not to take any step on the firearm user's license of a firearm dealer and a 5 FUL holder for non-renewal. The undertaking was given by the Commissioner to attorneys for gun dealers, Saieed Ali, and the others who are challenging an alleged new policy for renewing gun permit. On April 19th, the group received the court's permission to review the COP's decision to deem invalid FULs not renewed during the period 2004 to 2024. As part of their lawsuit, they sought an injunction to prevent the Commissioner from taking steps to initiate criminal prosecution against affected FUL holders or seize their license or firearm until the matter is resolved. Let me tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago. Come back to me direct. The Commissioner of Police, once they implement, from 2004 straight up until 2024, if you didn't renew your FUL, you are in breach of a criminal offense. So you know how many thousands of people would have been before the court? Thousands of people. I one night I had all the money to pay. when some of them start suing. Where were you, ma'am, when I went through the process of getting my license in 2005? Where were you? Were you around? Were you on the desk? Did you sign off my document? Did you know how physically fit I was? Did you know I get robbed 3 and 4 times? Did you know my wife was kidnapped or my son was kidnapped? Where were you to help? This is why I is being so damn bold. Where were you at the time? When I had to take a loan to hire security for a year and pay a loan for 10 years. Where were you? I signed up for Firearm, passed all my tests. Now you want to bring a foolish law? So the bandit have more rights than me? But you best buy a firearm on the streets then. Because if all you're making it so difficult, and the bandit on the streets getting a gun on the corner to protect them family, do I look stupid? Do I look stupid? Common sense. That is why in other countries, it is easier to get a firearm. It is so damn easier. Paula, good night.
Yes, sir. Good night.
Go right ahead, my friend.
Saeed, you're touching on a nice topic there.
I always love this topic.
But somehow I feel we wasting my time there, because she ain't signing out nothing for nobody. But here, sir, do you know that the Attorney General and other committee come together and you know they want to create something called gun zones? You hear about that?
I heard something similar.
Right. It's something like when you're going to pick up your child in school, the school going to be a zone.
Yes.
The bank going to be a zone.
Correct.
Parliament going to be a zone, right? Now, here the logic of this foolishness, right? The logic is when you go into the bank to take out, withdraw money from your account or deposit or anything, you have to go to the nearest police station and declare a firearm.
Yes. They want to amend laws to do this.
Yeah, so I'm trying to understand the logic. But let me tell you something, right? Everything in this country is just a smoke screen. They cannot account for the $2 billion that's missing right now. And the Auditor General asking about it, they can't account for that. So they need some kind of smoke screen to deter people from that actual event that's taking place. People need to keep their eye open and see what is going on in this country and aside.
Correct.
You
So,
understand
by
what
the
I'm
way,
trying to tell you?
my friend,
Yeah.
happy belated birthday.
Yeah, man. Thanks. Anyway, you enjoy a nice day.
Thank you, my friend. So, viewers, I wonder, and sometimes I just wonder about earlier, you know, serious. I just wonder about earlier, you know. No criminal background, but yet you are the commissioner. You said to Trinidad and Tobago, all my plans fail, and you are still the commissioner of police. Still. It's sad for Trinidad, you know. It's sad for Tobago. Now, however, FUL holders say if those FUL have been deemed invalid since 2007, then holders of license before 2004 and those who received permits before 2021 would now need to make fresh application since they cannot renew something that has become invalid. See? You see, Trinidad and Tobago? So the whole firearm department now, it crumbled. And who's responsible for that? The individual who brought out this foolish amendment, and that individual. Who is that individual? Is it the Minister of National Security? Is it the Commissioner of Police? I tell you, instead of our country go straight and forward, we're going crooked backward. That is where we're going crooked backward. Call good night.
Hi, Saeed.
Go right ahead, you're live.
Right, calling from Tunapuna.
Welcome to Napuna.
Saeed, let me show you how dotage this government is. You remember a certain individual who said it's not my responsibility to protect the lives of the citizens?
Thanks.
Remember Fitzgerald Hines say that?
Fitzgerald Hines.
Right. You remember our next individual said that people are not citizens are not entitled to a firearm. Saeed, you remember who said that? It is not in the Constitution. That was Keith Rowley, the minister, the head of the Security Council.
Correct.
Right. Now, I just want to show how dotish these people is. I say he's not responsible for the safety. Rowley said there's no entitlement of people to own a firearm user's license. But I want to tell you something. As the last caller just said, the responsibility, this is something they're fighting on with Gary Griffith, you know.
Yes.
The only thing extending into that, because say why I'm telling you so, side. The person who has the responsibility and the power for granting a firearm license is the Commissioner of Police.
Correct.
They want to take, and in fact, and she agreed to it, because they want to remove that responsibility from her, and they want to set up a board.
Correct. That's what they want to do.
Give them that authorization to do so. You know who that board will be comprising of?
Tell me.
PNM handpicked people. And they will deny other people. But the point I'm saying to you is that people have been taking action against the Commissioner of Police for not granting them the firearm user's license.
Thank you, my friend.
But what they do...
Thank you, my friend. Now, Trinidad and Tobago, concerning the gun license and what the government wants to do, listen to this. The government is proposing changes to overhaul the Trinidad and Tobago firearm law, removing the discretion of the Commissioner of Police to approve gun license and impose a ban on military-type weapon in the hands of civilians. What about the criminals? All you're studying about the law-abiding citizens is in Trinidad and Tobago who are carrying a legitimate firearm. But all you are saying absolutely nothing concerning the illegal firearms that are entering Trinidad and Tobago. An individual who possesses an illegal firearm, when they end up in front of the court, they get in bail, by bail, by bail, by bail. While I want to remove the licensed firearm holders' gun from their waist that they are using to protect their business and protect their family. That is what the ministry wants to do. So it is easier in Trinidad and Tobago to own a legal firearm which you could buy on the corner than to go through the correct process and get a legal firearm to protect yourself. Now, speaking in the Senate on April 29, National Security Minister Fitzgerald Hines said, I'll listen to this.
Certainly, the Office of the Attorney General and the Ministry of National Security has engaged this issue, and we have devised a draft policy in this regard, with new elements coming on board as the investigations by the police continue and new things and new nuances are discovered. Mr. President, the government recognizes that a lot went wrong. The matters are under investigation, as I said, and I am confident that the government will take action to improving the state of affairs in respect of the management of firearms, to tighten up the looseness and the wanton state of affairs that subsisted during the period under review. And it may very well yield recommendations for improvements in the law, the Firearms Act of Trinidad and Tobago.
Now Trinidad and Tobago. In February, Earl Hayward Christopher said that there are 25,000 pending gun applications for license. Oh, listen to this. investigations is a bit more robust. However, over the last year, I would have issued just over 100 FUI.
We have an average of 25,000 applications.
25,000 applications. Yes. What is creating that bottleneck and then to only filter
25,000 application and all she approve is 100. Caller, good night.
Good night, Saeed.
Go right ahead, your life.
The problem is he finds too much of one race, and he said it he said it himself. Too much of one race in this country got firearms users license. That's the whole problem. And because Gary didn't really want to give his friend, his so-called friend in Tobago, the license to operate the gun store, that's the whole problem about it.
Ooh, that's information, boy.
What's that?
I said that is information.
No, that's the whole problem about it. You understand? You find too much of one race without the firearm. But how much businessmen, so much businessmen have license pending for so much years. You understand? And it was not proven any if they didn't take them to court before Gary came in. Mm-hmm. That issue, that would still be an issue. You understand? Thank God. Watch me. You saying the right thing there, no? It's better you go around the block and you buy a gun and you keep it home, no?
I understand what you're saying.
That is where it coming to, no?
I understand. Thank you, my friend. Trinidad and Tobago, watch me now. Getting a license firearm in Trinidad and Tobago is like getting a HTC house, you know. Hard to get, you know. Imagine that, eh? Something to protect yourself. You went through, hey, here is that. 25,000 applicants? This woman is ashamed to say it's only 100 she approved in her whole year of being in office. 100? No wonder why there are so much criminal elements in Trinidad and Tobago. And the one who have firearm now, when they do fire, they under scrutiny, abandon jump defense and come in my property. When I back off behind them now, I in trouble. I in problem. So I should be best about licensed firearm. So when you have them jump in my property now, when them back off illegal firearm, I shoot off one too. And who knows, they may not come down on me. No, I ain't saying to go and buy a firearm, you know. I just run a reference. But it's hard, it really, really hard. Business places in Trinidad and Tobago, business-oriented family in Trinidad and Tobago. Let me tell you something, we walking forward and we had two eye behind me head watching we back so to see who coming. So I wonder if Heinz now going to tighten up the border where gunslingers bringing in gun. Heinz, open your mouth now. Open your mouth and yap now. All they're coming against firearm users, license holders. But all they're studying the individual who have the military type weapon on the streets robbing innocent people. Let me tell you something. God have a way in swinging thing, you know. So viewers, we are out of time for tonight, but nevertheless, our run of this program is tomorrow from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Until we meet again,